They'll never admit it out loud. They'll never post it. They'll never gush about you the way others do. But they feel it. Deeply. Quietly. Almost secretly. And if you know how to look, you'll see the signs. Because avoidants love differently. They love in silence. They love in shadows. They love in ways that don't look like love, but mean everything. They don't say it. They don't show it the way you expect. They don't wrap you in declarations. They don't give you the constant reassurance you crave. But that doesn't mean they don't feel it. For them, love lives in silence. It hides in gestures you might overlook. It exists in the corners of their life where words never reach. An avoidance love is quiet. It is guarded. It is wrapped in 1,000 layers of caution. It does not rush toward you. It circles, slowly, afraid of being seen. And because of that, you might think it isn't real. You might think they don't care. You might even believe you are invisible to them. But you aren't. You never were. What they feel, they bury. What they want, they disguise. What they long for, they test in silence before daring to show. Their nervous system has learned a dangerous lesson. That closeness costs too much. That to love is to risk being consumed. That to need is to open the door to disappointment. So they protect themselves, even from you, especially from you. But here's the truth they'll never tell you. You mean more than they can handle, more than they can admit, more than they can say out loud. That's why their love looks strange. It's not in the big confessions. It's not in public displays. It's in the smallest things. The way they remember what you said in passing. The way they step in quietly when you're overwhelmed. The way they give you space. Not because they want distance, but because closeness feels like fire on their skin. The way they linger in your orbit, never leaving completely, even when they retreat. You are in their thoughts far more than they'll confess. In their daydreams. In the music they play when they're alone. In the texts they reread at night. In the words they almost send but erase. Their love is unfinished. Half hidden. Always there but never named. And yet, when you pay attention, you'll see it. In their steadiness. In their quiet care. In the way they don't let you go. Even when everything in them screams to run. It hurts because you feel the absence of words, the absence of warmth, the absence of openness. But silence does not mean emptiness. Distance does not mean indifference. Coldness does not mean lack of feeling. It means fear. It means love and fear colliding at the same time. It means you have touched the place inside them. They swore no one would ever see. So they love you in secret. They love you in shadows. They love you without saying it. But they love you all the same. If you only listen to their words, you will miss it. Because they rarely tell you what they feel. They rarely speak in the language of love you're used to. Their love speaks in silence, in avoidance, in half steps forward and half steps back. To understand them, you have to listen differently. You have to watch the pauses. You have to feel the gaps. You have to notice what is there between the lines. An avoidant does not confess. They protect. They guard. They measure. Because love, to them, has always been dangerous. When they were young, closeness might have meant losing themselves. It might have meant being smothered, controlled, or dismissed. It might have meant pain disguised as care. So they built walls, not out of cruelty, not out of selfishness, but out of survival. And now, when they love you, that survival instinct remains. Their body whispers, "Don't get too close." Their heart whispers, "But I want to." And the war begins. That's why their love is confusing. They want you, but they step back. They care, but they act distant. They feel deeply, but they bury it under control. And yet, if you know where to look, their love is everywhere. It's in the way they hover around your presence. Never too close, but never fully gone. It's in the way they notice small details. The way you take your coffee, the songs that soothe you, the words that make you flinch. It's in the way they quietly do things for you. Not the grand gestures. Those terrify them. But the subtle ones. Fixing something before you notice it's broken. Checking if you made it home safe. But disguising it as a casual text. It's in the way they delay leaving. The way their body lingers. Even as their words say, "I should go." It's in the half smile they give you when they think you aren't looking. Their love is hidden, but not absent. It leaks through in small, unintended moments. Think about how they act when you are quiet. They glance at you, searching for your mood. They won't ask directly. Asking feels too vulnerable, but they will adjust themselves around you. Less joking if you seem upset. More patience if you seem tired. Think about how they act when you pull back. They might not chase openly. That feels unsafe. But they won't disappear either. They circle, waiting, keeping one thread tied to you. Because to lose you completely, that would be unbearable. Their fear isn't that they don't love. Their fear is that if they let you feel the full weight of it, they will collapse under their own longing. They will need too much. They will be abandoned again. So they love from the edges, from the corners, from the shadows. And this is the paradox. The stronger their love, the quieter it becomes. The deeper their feelings, the harder they work to hide them. You may think they don't care, but if you step back and pay attention, you'll see the truth. Their love shows in the patterns of their presence, in the way they don't let you go, in the way they come back, again and again, no matter how far they've run. It shows in the way they guard you in silence. They won't tell you they're proud of you, but they watch you, and their chest swells quietly. They won't admit how much they think about you, but their choices bend toward you when no one is looking. It's a love without words, but not without meaning. It's a love hidden, but powerful. It's a love they fight against, but cannot kill. So when you wonder if they love you, the answer is yes, but it's not a loud yes. It's not an obvious yes. It's a trembling, guarded, terrified yes. A yes that hides in small gestures. A yes that waits in silence. A yes that shows itself only when you learn to see what is not said. Because avoidants do not say, "I love you" easily, but they live it, quietly, in ways they hope you'll notice, without them having to risk everything by saying it aloud. Their silence is not empty. It's full. It's crowded with feelings they don't know how to name. It's heavy with words they never let themselves speak. When you sit across from them, you might hear nothing, but inside them, the noise is deafening. Avoidants don't speak love in declarations. They speak it in defenses, in holding back, in all the ways they try not to show how much you matter. But here's the hidden truth. Their restraint is often proof of their depth. If you were unimportant, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't measure their words, hold back their touches, control their impulses. They wouldn't fear losing themselves in you. It is only when you matter, when you become a mirror to their hidden need, that they grow so careful. This is why their love feels invisible, because the more they feel, the less they reveal. Think about their patterns. They text you late at night, then vanish in the morning. They linger in your doorway, then retreat the moment your eyes meet theirs too deeply. They remember things about you that you don't even remember saying. But when you thank them, they wave it off like it meant nothing. That's the contradiction. Their actions reveal their heart, but their words deny it. Why? Because words commit. Words expose. Words make it real. And making it real feels unbearable. They learned long ago that love is safest when it's silent. When it's not spoken, it can't be used against them. When it's hidden, it can't be taken away. So they build two realities, one for you and one for themselves. In the one they show you, they act casual, unbothered. controlled. They convince you that closeness isn't urgent, that they can take it or leave it. But in the one they hide, you are the center. You are the thought they carry into sleep. You are the memory that interrupts their day. You are the person they measure themselves against, even as they pretend they aren't measuring at all. This is the double life of their love. It's what makes them so hard to understand, because you only see the mask, unless you look closer. And when you do look closer, you'll notice how it leaks through. It leaks through when they subtly rearrange themselves for you. They'll sit on the side you prefer. They'll avoid the foods you don't like. They'll mirror your pace without realizing it. It leaks through in their quiet protectiveness. They'll act uninterested, but their eyes will scan the room, making sure you're okay. They'll tease you, but never let anyone else cross the line. It leaks through in their jealousy, which they'll deny, always, but you'll see it in the stiffness of their body. When someone else gets too close, you'll hear it in the flatness of their tone. When you mention another name, it leaks through in their returns, because no matter how far they run, no matter how long they stay silent, they circle back. They always circle back. That's not a coincidence. That's not randomness. That's love refusing to let go. But here's the paradox. They will never admit this to you directly. To say it aloud would feel like handing you the keys to their most vulnerable place. And for them, that's the greatest risk of all. So they hope you'll notice without them having to tell you. They hope you'll feel the weight of what they can't say. They hope their hidden gestures will be enough. But to you, it often feels like mixed signals, like confusion, like distance. And that's the tragedy of loving and avoidant. Their love is real, but it's buried. It's strong, but it's hidden. It's present, but it arrives in silence. And if you don't learn to see the language of what is unsaid, you might mistake their silence for indifference. You might think they don't care. You might believe they don't love you at all. But look deeper. Notice the way they show up quietly, consistently, even when they claim not to care. Notice the way their eyes soften when you laugh. Notice the way they protect you, even from afar. Notice the way they can't fully let you go, no matter how hard they try, because avoidants love in secret. And when they do, their silence is not the absence of love. It's the overflow of it. It's the part of them that wants you, but fears losing themselves in the wanting. It's not that they don't love. It's that their love has learned to live underground. And unless you know where to look, you'll never see the roots that run so deep. They don't announce their love. They don't confess it with flowers or with long, emotional speeches. They don't make a scene of it. Instead, their love lives in the shadows. It hides in the pauses, the silences, the subtle acts you almost miss. But make no mistake, just because they don't say it doesn't mean it's not there. If anything, the absence of words makes what they feel even stronger. Because when an avoidant truly loves, they become afraid of what their own heart might expose. Think about the way they handle closeness. When you lean in, they lean back. When you ask for more, they suddenly give less. When things get good, they find a reason to pull away. On the surface, it looks like rejection, but underneath, it's protection. They're not pushing you away because you don't matter. They're pulling back because you matter too much. Because closeness feels like losing control. Because if they let themselves collapse into love, they won't know how to get back out. So instead, they love you from a safe distance. They check your social media, but don't leave a comment. They memorize your favorite things, but pretend they weren't paying attention. They show up when you need them, but downplay why they came. They think if they hide their love well enough, they won't have to risk losing you. Because in their mind, love always comes with loss. Affection always comes with abandonment. Intimacy always comes with the danger of being left behind. This is why they craft such careful boundaries, why they insist on independence, why they frame closeness as too much. It's not that they don't want it. It's that they want it so badly that it terrifies them. So what does avoidant love actually look like? It looks like double meanings. It looks like actions that contradict words. It looks like loyalty that hides behind indifference. They'll cancel plans to protect their space, but then quietly worry if you're upset with them. They'll avoid big emotional talks, but then do small, invisible things to make your life easier. They'll claim they don't think about relationships, but then dream about you in secret, imagining a closeness they would never admit out loud. Their love shows up in fragments, in flickers, in glances when they think you aren't looking, in the way they sit a little closer than necessary, in the way their hand hesitates before pulling away, in the way they remember every detail about you, even the ones you forgot. It's easy to mistake this for inconsistency, but it's not inconsistency. It's fear colliding with desire. It's the nervous system pulling back, while the heart leans forward. You are both too much, and not enough. At the same time, too much for their fear, not enough for their longing. So they try to balance it. They give just enough to keep you close, and pull back just enough to protect themselves. They think this is the only way to love without breaking. But the truth is, they're breaking anyway, because every time they withhold, they feel the sting of silence. Every time they avoid, they feel the ache of missing you. Every time they keep their love a secret, they bury themselves deeper into loneliness. This is the paradox of avoidant love. It's not absence, it's abundance trapped in fear. So if you've ever wondered, do they care? Do they even love me? Look not at their words, but at the small ways they try to stay close, without admitting they're close. Look at the way they circle back after disappearing. Look at the way they soften when you're vulnerable, even if they can't match it with words. Look at the way they protect you, even while insisting they're detached. Those are their confessions. Those are their I love yous. They may never say the words, but the silence between their sentences is filled with them. And here's the most haunting part. Many avoidants spend their whole lives loving in secret, loving deeply, but never daring to show it. Because to show it feels like stepping into danger. Because to let it out feels like surrender. So they keep their love underground, praying you'll notice it, in the cracks where it escapes. A late-night text, a guarded glance, a nervous laugh, a quiet return. That's their way of saying, I feel more than I can admit. That's their way of saying, you mean more to me than I can show. That's their way of saying, I love you, but I don't know how to survive it. And the irony is this. Their silence often says more than their words ever could. You've seen it now. You've felt it. The way avoidant love never comes dressed in words, never arrives with certainty, never feels like the clean, open affection you may crave. Instead, it hides. It waits. It lingers just out of reach. It becomes something you have to notice, rather than something they will ever hand to you. And that is the most painful part. Not that they don't love, but that they love too quietly. Not that they don't care, but that their care lives in shadows. So what do you do with a love like that? Do you keep waiting for the words? Do you try to pull the truth out of them, only to watch them retreat further? Do you give more, hoping your giving will make them feel safe enough to give back? Or do you recognize that the love they can give you will always come wrapped in hesitation, always arrive late, always be filtered through fear? Because here's the truth. They're not lying when they act distant. That distance is who they are in this season of their life. It's not that they don't love. It's that their nervous system won't let them love in the way you expect. For the avoidant, Love is risk. Love is exposure. Love is surrender. And surrender feels unbearable. So instead, they ration it. They show pieces of it. They give you hints instead of wholeness. They show you fragments instead of fullness. They'll walk beside you, but not hold your hand. They'll ask if you got home safe, but never admit why they care. They'll keep pictures of you they'll never post, words they'll never say, feelings they'll never confess. They will love you with all the restraint they can manage, because in their world, restraint feels safer than release. But here's what you must remember. You are not imagining it. Their care is real. Their feelings are real. Their love is real. It's just hidden behind defenses that were built long before you came. Walls built in childhood. Walls built through abandonment. Walls built through disappointments they could never name. Walls built so strong that even when they want to let you in, they can't find the door themselves. And so you end up reading love in silence. You end up decoding it from shadows. You end up piecing it together from fragments. It feels unfair, doesn't it? That you must become fluent in a language of half gestures, while all you want is clarity, while all you want is to hear the words plainly spoken. But sometimes, the greatest clarity is knowing this. Their love is not the absence of feeling. Their silence is not emptiness. Their distance is not rejection. It is fear. Fear of losing you. Fear of being consumed. Fear of becoming dependent. Fear of being left exposed. That fear is louder than their love. And so the love stays hidden. But here's the haunting truth. If you step away, if you move on, if you finally release them, they will feel it. And often, they will feel it more deeply than they ever admitted while you were close. Because the moment they lose you is the moment they realize the depth of what they buried. That's why so many avoidants come back later. Not because they suddenly learned how to love, but because distance finally made them realize how much their silence had been saying all along. So what do you do standing in that space between the fragments they give you and the fullness you long for? You remember this. Their hidden love does not define your worth. Their silence does not mean you are unlovable. Their fear does not mean you are too much. Sometimes, the lesson is not to wait for them to speak, but to choose whether you want a love that hides or a love that shows itself. And if you do stay, if you do choose to hold space for their quiet love, then you must learn to read what they cannot say. You must see love in the pauses, in the subtleties, in the fragments, because that is where their truth hides. Not in declarations, but in hesitations. Not in speeches, but in silences. Not in open hands, but in guarded gestures. And as hard as it is, sometimes those tiny pieces are their way of giving you everything they can. So, if you've ever loved an avoidant, you know this pain, the ache of wanting words, while settling for whispers, the ache of wanting closeness, while holding space for distance, the ache of being loved, but loved in secret. And yet, you've also felt the beauty of it, the way their guarded love still manages to reach you, the way their quiet care still makes you feel chosen, the way their hidden devotion, though incomplete, still carries weight. That is the paradox. That is the double-edged truth of loving an avoidant. They won't say it. They may never say it, but if you watch closely enough, you'll realize their love has been speaking all along. If this spoke to you, if you felt this kind of hidden love, if you've lived in the silence of someone who cared but couldn't say it, you're not alone. This is a space for all of us who've loved deeply, waited patiently, and searched for meaning in the spaces between words. So if this resonated, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave your story in the comments, because your voice might give someone else the clarity they're craving. And if you want to keep exploring these hidden patterns of love, don't forget to subscribe. There is more here for you, more to uncover, more to heal, because even in silence, love is speaking, and together, we're learning how to finally hear it.